Well, we're almost home. So tomorrow we walk through the doors of our house and we just have a final 8-hour push to get home. Um, Woke up this morning, drove over to the gorge, spent the day in the gorge, saw 4 different waterfalls, hiked to 3 of them, had a great time. First we hit Bridalveil Falls, just about a 2/3 mile hike down and back. Pretty little waterfall. Very quiet, not a lot of people on the trail, so that made it nice. Then we drove over to Oneonta Falls, and that was a little bit busier. Certainly worth the view, fighting the crowds, but it was worth it. Went to the base of it, then walked up to the bridge, and then Mom and the 4-year-old went all the way up the mile to the top, while me and the 3 other kids went back and fixed us lunch and had something to eat. When they got down, they ate, we took off, and we drove down to Oneonta Falls, or Oneonta Falls, not sure exactly how you say it. There's a trail that goes up to the top of it, and you can look down, but there's also another trail that goes up through the gorge, and we took that trail up through the gorge. It was really fun. We weren't prepared for it though, because we had to walk through chest-deep water. So it was a little more than we had anticipated, but if we'd have planned ahead, we'd have been better and wore swimsuits and probably put our phones in dry bags of some kind. But we just held our phones above our heads, carried our kids, and pushed through, clothes and all. We were prepared with shorts and with shoes that could get wet, but we thought we'd only be getting wet up to our knees. That wasn't the case though. The waterfall was pretty, but the adventure was more fun. Getting there, pushing through the water, going chest deep, it was a lot of fun. Worth going to see for sure. After that, we drove down the highway, drove past Oneonta Falls, saw that one. Looked at a couple overlooks, the Columbia Gorge, the river, and then we stopped at the Bonneville Dam, and that was really neat because we learned how locks worked, as they raise the water to lift the boats, lower the water to bring the boats down to the different levels as boats continue up and down the channel, up through the river. We learned that barges can carry the equivalent of 538 trucks, and it's 7.5 times cheaper to ship by boat than by truck. And that barges can make it all the way from the ocean there, Astoria, to Lewiston, Idaho. So really cutting off a lot of travel time that way. Pretty interesting. And then we went and saw the fish ladders where the salmon and steelhead are able to go up and down the river past the dams. So that was pretty cool to see that process, and they count every single one in the different species that come through. They have a counting room as they watch through the windows, and that'd be an insane job. Work for 8 hours a day. You get a 10-minute break at the end of every hour, and you just sit and you are literally a fish counter. Not a job I could have. After that, we continued through, drove and stopped for dinner in Hood River. And then after dinner, made the 2.5-hour drive to a small state park outside of Pendleton. And here we're staying in a small cabin. And then we'll break in the morning and make the final push home.